All right, take two.
Take two, people.
I don't know what's wrong with the internet around here. We might need a new router or Wi-Fi or I don't know what.
Provider.
A new provider or something. But anyway, good morning.
Good morning.
We're back. I don't know what happened last time, but I deleted it because it didn't have hardly any time at all. So
starting over.
Anyway, so
good morning.
You were telling us about your workout. Try again.
I was saying that the interesting thing today, you said my arms were a little sore, and they are. But they were obviously sore than my back because when I went to the gym and laid on my back to do chest, I realized my back was sore too. So I guess the moral of that story is I had a good workout yesterday.
Well, because you've changed up, and that anything you change makes you tender, makes you sore.
Right.
And so I think I told you guys 2 days ago that I was probably going to be sore because I changed my chest workout a little bit the way I was doing it. Sophie's here. Hi.
Hi,
good morning.
Sophie.
Always good to see you. And sure enough, today Russ was touching me, and I was like, oh yeah, my chest is sore, achy right there. So today I did back, and back exercises are anything where you pull down or pull towards you. And the interesting thing about back exercises is that the amount of weight you can lift is limited by how strong your hands are because you have to be able to grip it and pull. And so they have this thing that you can use called wrist straps, and they help you. They support, you wrap them around so you don't have to hold with your hands. So when I do lat pull downs, which is straight down like this, if I don't use the straps, I can usually lift about 45 pounds or so. So today I decided, you know what, I'm going to bring the wrist straps, and I used them. I did 85 pounds. So I can do twice as much weight comfortably with wrist straps. I can say those words together. Than I can without them. So I thought that was interesting, and you can guarantee that my back is going to be sore tomorrow. So that's going to be interesting.
So what does that say about us, that we look for a successful workout means we're sore the next day?
Well, you know, that's kind of the point. That's
yes, it is.
Athletes in us.
That's it.
So I wanted to tell you guys about my breakfast because I'm not eating entirely whole food today. I know it's shocking, right? I decided that I wanted to have a tortilla, so I toasted it, and I have some hummus and some avocado. But while a tortilla is plant-based, it's not whole food because it's processed. So somebody was teasing me yesterday at an event. They were like, you guys are so perfect. Okay, not perfect. See, eating a tortilla for breakfast.
Demerit one.
And not only that, I'm meeting a friend for lunch today. So, you know, who knows what I'm actually going to eat for lunch. So we'll see about that. But I also wanted to give you guys an update on my hand because I am so surprised. So if you saw my post on Sunday, I sliced my hand, the meat of my thumb right here, I sliced it open because I was trying to fix a flower pot that broke. Actually, I did fix the flower pot that broke. I wasn't trying to. I did fix it. But it sliced my hand, and it bled pretty badly. It was a pretty nasty cut, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to work out. But I bandaged it up, put some, cleaned it, put some Neosporin stuff on it, antibiotic ointment. I am so shocked how well it healed. I have to show you because it's just unbelievable how good my hand looks after just a couple of days. Look, it's just a tiny little mark anymore. It's amazing. And the only thing I can attribute that to is our diet and our healthy diet. I can't fathom why else my hand would heal that quickly. So I'm super impressed with that. That healed really well. What else are we going to talk about? Oh, I wanted to talk about...
well, let me just say that the only thing I've changed in my breakfast this morning, as you may be shocked to find out, I am having oatmeal. The only thing I've changed is instead of having the mix of frozen fruit, I'm having just blueberries, and they are organic. And sometimes, when you're getting ready to eat, you realize that you're really hungry, and the time it takes you to prep your food is way too long compared to how you want to start eating. So today I started munching on dried dates. And as we mentioned in one of our earlier posts, dried dates are one of the dried fruits that are good to eat because they have no added sugar of any kind to them. They're just naturally sweet. And so I'll read the ingredients of this product. Ingredients: organic pitted dried nor dates. That's it.
That's it.
One ingredient.
That's all that's in there.
One ingredient's what you like to see.
So that's good. And we have prunes that are that way as well, which are...
By the way, if you want to see what they look like, that's the product. And yes, we did get these from Costco.
Which we seem to get a lot of our things from Costco. I am having, on my tortilla, I'm having hummus, avocado, hemp seeds, and tomatoes from our garden. So that's
which are awesome.
They are awesome, and it's so much fun that they're still growing. So let's talk about gyms and going to a gym, because I had a comment the other day. I was talking to somebody.
Elizabeth joined. Hi, Elizabeth.
Good morning, Elizabeth. I had a comment yesterday or the day before with a woman. She's in her 50s, and she said she absolutely hates gyms. It makes her nervous to even think about going to one. And I asked her, I said, why is that? Why do you dislike gyms so much? And she said she feels intimidated. She feels like people are going to be mean to her. She doesn't know what she's doing. Like it was a whole bunch of stuff, and she just said she won't go. So I asked Russ, you know, has he ever seen a situation where someone's been mean to someone in a gym? Because I've never experienced that. So talk about that a little bit.
Yes, just give me 1 second.
Oh, apparently the dates have to be put away immediately.
It's an emergency. Could you give me the water too, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. So yes, I've been going to gyms since the late 70s, and that is the 1970s. And in that time, I've worked out in some of the most hardcore, you know, smelled like a dungeon, looked like a dungeon facilities you can imagine. And I've never, ever seen a situation, with very few exceptions, where people were mean to other people. As a matter of fact, the only time I can think of off the top of my head where a very large bodybuilder was trying to intimidate somebody who looked like they maybe just started working out, and the funny outcome of that was the guy who was just starting out stood up to him, and the bodybuilder backed down. So that was kind of a fun thing for me. But no, I mean, some of the hardest core gyms I've ever been in, I've met the nicest people, and I mean, I know for myself, especially when I was into competitive bodybuilding, is that I loved it when somebody came up to me and said, you know, am I doing this right? Or can you tell me how this, or what is this machine for? I mean, and you know, I'm not saying go up to somebody right in the middle of a set and stop them from working out.
Don't interrupt them in the middle of their set.
Right. But in most cases, people are very helpful in the gym. Gyms are, it's almost like a I don't know, a sorority maybe, or a club. And once you're in, it's all one group.
And I think too is that I know if I see someone being rude or obnoxious to someone, I'm going to say something. Now, I'm that kind of person,
yes,
and I've done that more than once. But I think that in most cases, if somebody was being like really mean and obnoxious to someone in the gym, someone else would stand up to them.
Right.
So, go ahead.
I was going to say, having said all that, we do understand that certain gyms aren't right for certain people. You have to find the facility that works for you.
So what kind of, so there's some, and we won't name any names because that wouldn't be nice to call gyms out, but what kind of gyms you go into and you feel like, oh, this is, because I know there was one here locally that we decided this is not a good place for us. Why did you think that? And
it was a facility where, you know, 15, 20 years ago, I would have been like, that's the gym I have to work out in. And now it's like, you know what, that's too intense for me. You know, people grunting, people, you know, throwing weights around, doing that whole macho thing.
And that's not just chest pounding.
Chest pounding, and you know what? I'm not talking about just men either. I mean, the women that are into that are just as forceful or just as intense. So those gyms are for those people, and they should exist. They need to exist. And sometimes even people that are just starting out want to be in that type of facility for the motivational factor. If you think that's the right facility for you, then I recommend you join a gym like that. I was going to mention it, but since Robyn says we shouldn't, I'm not going to mention it.
I don't think that's fair. The other thing, too, though, is to consider that the more, and this is my experience, so take that for what it's worth, the more intense a gym is and the more it's got that kind of people in it, the more likely you're going to run into people who are doing steroids. And for me, there's two issues with that. One, there's the roid rage issue, which is real. People who are taking steroids have shorter fuses, and they get angry about dumb things. I had a guy get mad at me in the gym once because I told him that using the word retard was not very nice, especially since he was talking about it in front of a guy who has a son who has special needs. I was like, no, don't use that word. And he lost his marbles about that. But the other thing about being in gyms where there's steroids is that creates an unrealistic expectation of what you can achieve. And I feel like it might be unmotivating to be in a place where other people, you know, have these great physiques, but those physiques aren't created normally. And you know what? I have no comment about steroids. That's an individual choice, and if that's how you want to treat your body, you know what? That's not on me.
And I think another important consideration for the people that have children of the age where they'll start working out is if you send them to facilities like that, or if they're joining facilities like that, sometimes you don't have a choice. Understand that that temptation is there. You know.
Yeah, absolutely.
There always are, as in any drug that is not legal, even ones that are legal. You always have people that are looking to make money off of it. So
there's risk.
There's risk involved in those.
And it's unregulated.
It's unregulated, yeah.
So then there's the other side of the coin, or the spectrum, and that's those gyms that are, talk about no gym intimidation.
Oh, I sure want to name that one, but
no, we're not going to do that. Do you think that it's possible for people to get a good workout in a place like that?
Well, I'll say two things. The first thing I'll say is I don't feel good about a facility whose motto is if you grunt, if you work out too hard, if you sweat and people can see it, they don't want you there. So what are you telling me? That if I actually want to get in shape, I shouldn't work out in your facility? Well, then I'm going to say, well, I'm going to oblige you and I'm not going to work out in your facility because that doesn't make sense.
Right.
The other thing I'll say about those places is they're usually not equipped well. So you can walk in these facilities and they have 3 million treadmills and 5 million, lat machine, rowing machines and all this good stuff. Understand that core development of the body requires free weights. And any facility that is pushing you on all machines is missing a huge part of developing your health of your body. You cannot develop coordination with machines. You can't develop balance with machines. Those are things that you do naturally. I mean, you learn how to walk, you learn balance. You learn how to pick yourself up off the floor. You learn how to use your muscles to do that. And when you're restricted to machines, it's just.
Well, and we went to one of those facilities because we were looking for something, a different opportunity, and they opened a new one, and we were like, okay, we'll go check it out, we'll give it a chance. And the thing I think that struck me the most, I don't know what the right word is, strange, bizarre, was they have bagel mornings and pizza nights.
Right.
I'm sorry, when I go to a workout facility, bagels and pizza are not what I'm looking for, and I don't think that that's what a place where I'm supposed to be going to getting in shape should be offering. Just me, each their own, but that's just me.
Well, it talks to the type of people they want, and folks, believe me, they want the people that will join because they're gung-ho, but then actually never show up. I mean,
how a lot of facilities make a living.
Right, and think about these facilities. So if they're signing up 5,000, 10,000 members, have you ever walked into one of those facilities and seen 5,000 people working out, or even 1,000 people working out at one time? You get maybe 50 people, maybe 25 people in a facility at one time, and that's the norm. Yeah. They are banking on that, and that's why they promote to those people, because they know the idea of working out is cool, And then if they charge you a low enough amount, you're like, oh, I may go back, I may try it again. And again, the biggest problem with those facilities are just not very motivating. There is no
impetus.
Impetus is a good word to get you to go there.
So, but not that if that's what the facility near you is, go there, start there. They definitely are better than nothing.
Right.
If your option is sit on the couch and eat Doritos, or go to a facility that may not be the most ideal for someone like Russ and I, who have multiple decades of experience in the gym, go there. Please go there. And you know what? Their trainers will probably be able to teach you stuff.
Yes, at least for their equipment.
They're a great place to start if you have no other options.
Right.
But
if you do have other options, I'd explore them. That's just the way I feel.
There's Pat. Good morning, Pat.
Hey,
Hi.
Pat. How you doing?
And Nancy.
And Nancy, yeah.
So anyway, definitely I would say go to a facility and feel how it feels. And I know that that's a really touchy-feely thing to say, especially for a psychologist who's trained in the science or whatever. But when you walk into a facility, you can tell about the people there. There was a facility here that we looked at before we moved here. We took a tour, did all that, and we walked out, and I said, I do not want to be a member there. The people there are snobby. I have no desire to work out on a location where people are snobby. Right. Be nice to me. Say good morning. Say hi. You know what? If I'm between sets, talk to me. Ask me questions. That's fine. Don't interrupt me if I'm in the middle. So maybe we should explain that. So a set is when you're doing a grouping of exercises. So a rep is one. So if you do one, that's a rep. And then a grouping of reps, 10 or however many, that's a set. Right. And there is the gym etiquette is if someone's in the middle of a set, you wait until they're done and they let go of whatever they're doing, and then you can interrupt them. The other gym etiquette is if someone's wearing headphones, that means they don't want to have a conversation with you. You can ask them, hey, are you using this? And they'll, take what? And then, oh, no, I'm not, and whatever. Or that's fine, but they don't want to stand and have a conversation with you.
Right. Generally speaking, and you're in any environment and people are walking around with headphones on, they're saying, I don't want to talk to people. I just want to be in my own little world. I want to do my thing. I think that's a general rule.
I think that's probably fair.
Yeah.
In the gym, I do wear earplugs. And I wear them because when people, I'm a firm believer that if you can pick it up, you can set it down, but not everybody believes that. And especially when it comes to like deadlifting and things like that, there's a lot of people, typically guys, that pick it up and then they drop it and it's noisy. And there's one guy in our gym who he puts the, what are those bars called?
The support bars.
He doesn't bend all the way over and go all the way to the ground. He puts the support bar things about this far up and he drops the bar onto those, and it is.
So it's metal on metal.
Oh.
And he's lifting about 700 pounds. So.
Yeah, we call him the Ox.
Yeah.
He actually
has
a name. Nice guy,
yeah.
Great guy, but we call him the Ox because he's a huge man.
Yeah.
And it hurts my ears. So I don't like to add music on top of the music or the whatever they're already playing because I feel like that's not good for my eardrums. So instead, I do wear earplugs. And if someone comes up and talks to me, if it's a short conversation, I typically, A, can hear well enough, and B, read lips well enough that I don't take them out. But if I'm going to have a real conversation with someone, I will take them out. Oh, Nancy has a big comment. Let's see what she says. Maybe you covered this. I can't seem to restart your video. Yeah, while we're live, you can't. You can when we're done. But as you and I discussed, Robyn, oops, it's bipping around. My experience has been that you should be wary of trainers, yes, who are essentially salespeople with no experience. Oh,
we had that conversation yesterday.
Yes, we did. We have had that conversation.
So if you go back and watch, I think it was yesterday.
I can't remember what day we talked about it, but we talked about, and we'll recap briefly, we talked about how trainers will give you a workout or work you out, but they won't teach you how to use the equipment so you can do it yourself.
Right.
And that for me is a pet peeve. And I think that's why I have clients now coming to me and I'm like, I'm not a certified trainer. And they say to me, Robyn, you know more than anyone I've ever met. You can absolutely teach me to do this.
Right.
So I would encourage you, if you're going to have a trainer, to ask them specifically, will you teach me how to do this so I understand and I can do it myself? Or is this something that's going to be ongoing?
And so there are two ways approaching a trainer. Most facilities, when you sign up, will give you however many sessions, 1 to 3 sessions usually, to take you through an initial routine and get you set up. That's where the sales comes in. That's when they want to put you into something that you're never going to remember. And so they want you to hire their trainers to take you through that routine continuously. And of course, they make extra revenue for that.
And they switch it up just enough that you're never quite sure. You're not stable on what am I doing and why am I doing that and why do we switch it now?
And that's a marketing sales approach. They are doing that because the personal training is a big part of their revenue. And so that's why they go to that route. But there also are personal trainers that are out there for people that just aren't self-motivated. So they need somebody who can sit there and say, okay, let's do another set. Okay, rest 30 seconds. Okay, let's do another set. Let's do this exercise. Because some people just want to get in shape, but they don't want to think about it.
And they need someone there to hold them accountable.
Right.
And I think we may have to start a group like an accountability group on Facebook that says, did you do your workout today? Because I think that, Russ and I do that a lot with each other. There are days where he's like, okay, and he gets out of bed and I'm like, drat. All right, fine.
I think today was me. I'm like, she's like, okay, rise and shine, and I'm still in bed.
I said, up and at 'em, Adamant, let's go. Because I was very awake this morning.
Right.
Every once in a blue moon, and when it happens next, we'll let you guys know, there's a day where we both look at each other and go, yeah, not today.
Not today.
Not happening.
Yes.
So we'll definitely let you know when that happens.
But there's consequences to that, because then we're thinking, okay, Saturday or Sunday. Which day are we making? Or both. Which day are we making it up?
We do make it up. But there are days that sometimes we just decide, it's cozy and we like laying next to each other. We're not getting out of bed.
Exactly.
So that's something to think about. But I would definitely encourage you to go look at facilities, talk to them, see what they want. What does Nancy have to say?
She says, I worked with a woman with a master's in exercise physiology, and she gave me a routine to follow. I would hire her for 3 sessions for a tune-up. Yeah, that's perfect.
And you know what? That makes perfect sense, Nancy.
Yeah.
I think that that's a good way to go at it, is have someone teach you how to use the machines, give you exercises, let you go, off you go, and then when you're ready to try something new, come back.
Right. Or if you want to make sure you know, sometimes you aren't really following how you should do it. So sometimes you get a little astray, and it's good to have that recap to say, okay, let's do another 3 sessions, make sure I'm still doing everything properly.
I think that that's a great way to look at,
Yes.
at a trainer.
Yep.
And if you can find a facility where they'll help you do that, that's awesome. I know I have a friend who hired a trainer, and the trainer refused to give her the workout.
And she never hurt you. Well, awesome.
That is a definitely big deal.
A definite.
And I think that's something too that people don't pay enough attention to. I know for me, the competitive athlete in me, I have to be really careful not to let people push me harder than I know I can. And there's a guy at the gym who likes to do that.
Just happened about 2 weeks ago. I'm doing leg presses, and I'm at the point in my life where I know pretty much what I want to do, and I'm not looking to be the strongest person in the gym anymore or be the biggest person in the gym. But I had my time. I'm going off into the sunset and trying to stay healthy doing it. So I'm doing some leg presses, and I'm just about done. And it's getting a little struggling. I'm struggling a little bit, but I'm getting it up. And he comes up behind me. He's one of the employees, and he said, "Okay, come on, one more." I racked it, and I said, "I'm good, thank you."
I'm done.
I said, "My days of pushing me to another limit,
Yeah.
You need to talk to me 20 years ago."
There was a guy there that likes to give me a hard time when I do bench press. He likes to say to me, "You can do more than that. You can do more weight." You know what? You're right. I can. I can bench press probably between 70, 85 pounds. Guess what I don't do? I don't bench press 75 to 85 pounds. You know why? My shoulder doesn't like it. You know what I don't want to do? Hurt myself.
Thank you, Nancy.
So anyway, we're being on a long time today, 20 minutes already.
Yes.
But we definitely wanted to tell you guys about, please join a gym, find one that works for you. If you have questions, if you're not sure how machines work, ask us. We probably know.
Right.
Nancy says bite me would also work. I used to say that long time ago. Oh my goodness, I haven't heard that in ages and ages. If Elizabeth is still here, she probably remembers when I used to say that. But anyway, we're going to eat breakfast. Russ is done with his oatmeal. I have a tiny bit of smoothie left from yesterday that I didn't eat, so I'm going to eat that along with my not quite entirely whole food taco that's going to be really, really yummy. I'm super excited about it.
Right.
So thank you for joining us. Did you have something to add?
The only thing I was going to say is we might have gone off on a few tangents, so if we didn't answer any questions about gym facilities, one thing I wanted to talk to, we didn't today, maybe we'll talk about it tomorrow,
I'll add it to our list.
Is the times that you may want to try working out, depending on scheduling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll get into that a little bit tomorrow. But,
I'll add it to my list of things that I have a list that I look at in the morning and say, what should we talk about? So if you guys have something to add to the list, let me know, and we'll do that.
Yes,
good to see you, Nancy.
Good to see you, Nancy. So with that,
go ahead.
We will say, eat food, not too much, and mostly plants.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.